over the land, driven by a powerful artifact known as the Soulmonger. 4 would-be heroes had been sent to the jungles of Chult to destroy the cause of this terrible affliction. Vale, the half-elven paladin, who's just now learning of his divinely granted powers. Ubo, the total monk from a distant land, who's as quick with his wit as he is with his staff. Brilinia, Asimar warlock, sent on this quest by Hotel, discovering herself in this strange new land. And Gunslinger Cole, tiefling artificer and archaeologist who may just dig up more than she bargained for. This motley band of adventurers must work together to brave the poisonous plants, venomous monsters, thundering dinosaurs, and rotting undead of the jungle. Join the omnipotent dungeon master Jake for mini-terrain domain to see if our heroes can find the Soulmonger, uncover the deeper mysteries of Chult, and free the world from the death curse. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to Chult of Personality.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Chult of Personality, our Tomb of Annihilation epic campaign that has been going on now, I believe, for almost exactly 1 year. And this is episode 33, as yet untitled, where we are continuing with the adventure in Mangalore. So, in just a moment, I'm going to have these players introduce themselves, the 3 that are with us. As you can tell by this swirling pattern of smoke, Dunala, played by Marquise, is not with us tonight. Real quick, the devil faces that you see right here to my side, this one does not count. Although maybe I could. This is like my permanent DM domain devil. But the ones down here, right along here, these domain devils, as you see at the bottom of the screen, that for 500 bits or a $5 donation, you can purchase 1 domain devil. Each domain devil grants the players an opportunity to re-roll a d20 roll and take the new result, or force me to re-roll one of my rolls. Right now, they've got 3 domain devils, so they must use them wisely. But that's a way that you, as audience members, can participate. Since we are streaming live on Twitch, and there's a chance you may be watching this on the VOD, I don't even know if Super Chat is enabled on VODs. So I'm not sure how that would work, but let's say if for some reason something comes through on a VOD, then I would apply that to the next game. I guess we'll have to look into how that works. But if you are watching with us live, or you're catching us for the first time on YouTube, the VODs go live 2 days later. So Sunday nights at 8:30, we stream live on Twitch, which means Tuesdays during the day, the videos will go live on YouTube. And if you want to stay up to date on when and how that's happening, right here is my Twitter handle at MTD_Jake. I'm going to go around the overlay here, actually in the other order. And we'll start with Mike. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, where we can find you, and all that good jazz.
Hi, my name is Mike. I am playing Vale Istafal. Oop. There we go. The half-elf paladin. Actually, probably the worst paladin in all of Faerun. You can find me on Twitter, and physically you can find me under a rock in Canada. Good luck. That's it.
Next, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am one half of the YouTube channel Dice on Ice, and tonight I am playing the ever naive Brilinia.
All right, short and sweet.
Yep.
And finally, Connor.
I am Connor. I'm the other half of Dice on Ice. I'm playing the Aarakocra, known as Eric of Kirsabal. That's also all I have to say.
All right. So, it's kind of a cheater because I gave you a primer right before we went live, but who wants to attempt the recap for a point of inspiration? Who thinks they're going to need a point of inspiration and would like to attempt the recap? All right, I will take the point of inspiration. So see, that domain devil will come into play for me. As I'm obsessively cleaning my glasses, for some reason, my cleaning cloth is making my glasses dirtier. I can't see, I can't run. Okay. So for the longest time, the players in, well, two members of this party have been in the land of Chult, having been sent here to investigate the death curse, which they know is being caused by something called the Soulmonger. It is causing anybody who has ever been resurrected before to slowly start to die, and anybody who dies, resurrection magic no longer works. The party has already lost one member quite a while back. They lost their guide, though through other means, not least of which was betrayal. They've picked up a couple other party members along the way, and the new party, of course, consists of Vale, Berlinia, and Eric. And they are continuing their journey through the jungles, growing ever closer to Omu, most recently having hitched a ride with Artist Simber and his crew aboard an airship. As they were descending on a rope, the airship airbag became disengaged from the ship. Ubo, the turtle monk, stayed behind to help. And shortly thereafter, they received a telepathic message that the ship had crashed somewhere in the jungle, but they were okay, and to continue on. While in a place called the Firefinger, they found a captured Aarakocra, Eric, who they rescued. They fought some monsters, escaped, and were able to get to the cliffside monastery of Kirsabal, which happened to be home of Eric's mother and the leader of the monastery, known as Ashara. Tahu. And she told them that she could help them get to Omu. As a side note, Princess Moxanare and her little brother Na, the last surviving members of the royal blood of Omu, are being sheltered at the monastery of Kirsabal. Ashara has told them that she can aid the group in getting to Omu faster if they travel to a place that the Aarakocra fear called Nangalore, where resides a black orchid. If they can retrieve the black orchid, Ashara can perform the ritual known as the Dance of the Seven Winds, which will grant flight to all members of the party, allowing them to travel to the lost city of Omu that much faster. And that is where we left our party. They had traveled the 3 days along the river and through the jungle to the known location of Nangalore, a botanical garden, this beautiful garden that resides in the jungle, filled with foliage that has not been seen anywhere else in the jungle. They began to enter into this location, investigating it, found a series of strange faces with ancient messages left behind, talking of who the garden was dedicated to and talking of betrayal. They went along one of the passages from the main terrace up to a higher level terrace, where they encountered some foliage that they had seen before, and it promptly attacked them. A yellow musk creeper vine along with several albino dwarven yellow musk zombies. With a little bit of difficulty, they managed to dispatch all of the zombies and the yellow musk creeper. In the aftermath, as they stood there, Vale caught sight of something in one of the bushes. A figure that they had seen once or twice before in the jungle. Small, less than 12 inches in height, all black and white, looking like Edward Scissorhands with a Rorschach mask. This little creature emerged from a bright pink flower in front of Vale's face, kissed its palm, and blew dust, sparkly dust, into Vale's face. And that is where we are going to pick up tonight's adventure. Vale, as this Schwinga dust blows into your face, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great.
I ain't screwing around. We're going right for the saving throw.
Your job gone. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. And that would be a 16 because it's. Yeah.
You feel a sort of detachment between your mind and your body. You feel a lightness in all of your limbs, as if your entire body is falling asleep, though you still maintain a tenuous grasp on it. Your sword, your rapier, still in hand, well, at this point, it's actually gleaming because Dunala had just used prestidigitation to clean the yellow musk zombie blood off of it. And it seems to almost dazzle your eyes, this rapier. The light reflecting off of it is so bright and shimmery. And as you find yourself staring at this light, you notice vines, very fine, thin tendrils of vines creeping out from under your sleeve in your armor, entwining themselves around your fingers on the hilt of your rapier, up along the rapier's basket and across the blade. And you can feel these vines also creeping out of your collar and begin entwining themselves all around your body. Berlinia and Eric, I would like you each to make wisdom saving throws.
That's a 10 for me.
It's an 8 for me.
You see Vale standing and staring at this bush. And we'll come back to what you guys see after I'm finished with Vale. Vale, you watch as any part of your body that you can see, your arms, your hands, your feet, these vines are wrapping all around your body and completely entwining around you. Continuing to grow, you watch as the vines creep down along your legs, around your feet, and into the ground. And you begin to feel the presence of the gardens of Nangalore, the trees and the bushes around you, the various flowers and foliage. You can sense a dark presence somewhere within this jungle botanical garden. You can sense the greater jungle beyond you. You can feel the pulsing of life flowing through. You feel the trees. Impossibly, you get this sense that you can feel every blade of grass, every palm frond, every branch, every root, every vine reaching and grasping for sunlight, drinking up the water. You can taste the rainwater seeping into the ground. You can feel the creatures that have been slain decaying and providing nutrients to all of the jungle around you. You get the sense that you can feel this ever-growing, ever-expanding presence. And you just know that you are sensing all of Chult. And as this feeling comes across you, you hear this voice in your head. Veil is to fall.
Hello? Yeah, that's me.
You are indeed my chosen emissary in Chult.
Ooptao?
You say it as a question, but you know it to be the truth.
Well, I mean, maybe. To be perfectly fair, it looks like I'm turning into a plant. I got sprayed in the face with some dust, so I mean, I could be hallucinating right now.
Yes, the playful swinger. They are among my finest creations. They have lingered in this jungle far longer than many of the other creatures. They've been here longer than the dragon that slumbers in the southwest. They've been here longer than the volcanoes that rise from the center of Chult. Longer than most of the trees here. And they will persist long after you and your friends are gone. But they are the ones who present themselves as a reminder of my presence. And I felt it was time, Vale, to let you know that you are indeed the chosen.
You can, okay, so just one really quick thing, just slightly out of character, actually all the way out of character. Who am I kidding? If you're gonna slap my proverbial wrist for this, I will totally understand, but I'm just gonna ask it. So you sent the voice of Ubtao to me. If I'm metagaming, you can slap my BB.
No.
Okay.
You have experienced the voice of Ubtao, and that is a perfectly valid thing for you to say.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons why I have chosen to speak to you now. For one among you is also being deceived by this so-called voice of Ubtao. There is only one voice of Ubtao, Veil is to fall. Do you know who that is?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you.
I appreciate your humility. It is you, Veil is to fall. But I don't blame you for not being able to answer that question, for though you have been shedding your doubt with each passing day here in the jungle, it is only now that I am granting you the title Voice of Ubtao. You need to know that the one manifesting itself as such is an impostor. It is a member of a dark force that seeks the power of the soulmonger for itself.
But why?
The soulmonger is a powerful force, the closest that any but the gods have come to taking control of life and death. Those who call themselves the Red Wizards of Thay have sent this impostor into the jungles in their stead to try to gain control. They are working with an organization known as the Weeping Friars.
I've heard of them. Brill, yeah, she doesn't like them very much.
Do you name Brillinia among your trusted allies?
Yes, a truster with me life.
Who else, since you have stepped foot in this jungle, would you name your trusted ally?
Oof, no, no one else at all. No, absolutely no one I can think. I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, I know he seems a bit dodgy, but Dunala seems all right. I mean, he's not trying to steer me away or into the darkness. And Eric is he's a brashy sort of bird, but I mean, he's good folk. And I think it'd be all right. I think the four of us can really help. And I mean, even though he's not with us, of course, Otter Simba, he's a good lad. Well, all the folk that we've been talking to, even Cole, who I do miss. I wish we could save her. I wish she could have been saved. Can she? I mean, you're a god, aren't you? I mean, you could help us and bring her back, yeah?
The one who you have known as Gunslinger Cole, sister to Berlinia. It is a harsh truth that you must learn, Vale. Cole is no more. Cole has been taken beyond the veil by the soulmonger, and her soul has been devoured, and it is beyond even the reach of the gods at this point to bring her back. Among those you have named your allies, Vale Istafal, you did not hesitate in naming Berlinia as trusted, and so, without question, she shall receive my blessing as well.
Well, the other two,
But
I mean...
you must know this. Dunala, you are not wrong to trust him. But one foot walks in shadow, the other walks in light. You must watch him carefully. If you, as the voice of Ubtao, wish it, I shall grant him a boon as well.
I would wish it, only because most of us, every day, have 1 foot in light and 1 foot in shadow. The only difference between Dunala is that he bears himself open to that for everyone to see because he hides nothing. Where most folk, well, we usually try and keep it hidden. as to only ourselves would know, but not him. And I admire that forthrightness. I'd more admire that forthcoming sort of attitude from him. It's a rare breed that will stand up, lay bare their chest upon the world.
Then it shall be so. Eric.
Nah, fuck that overgrown turkey. No, I'm just kidding.
The Aarakocra has been with you for a very short time, but already I can sense your fondness growing, and he is finding his place within your group. Again, it is your choice as the voice of Ubtao if you wish him to receive my blessing.
I do.
Veil is to fall. Tell me, which of these things do you value more? Your health? Your body? Your understanding? Your connection to the ancient world? Protection from outside forces? Or your ability to smite your enemies in my name?
Daggone. I would have to say, an understanding of the world. For me, it's not so much to blindly follow, but I wish to follow and understand, know my place and everyone else's place here in Toril.
Then so shall it be. Veil is to fall, the voice of Ubtao. Know this, Veil. This is the last time I will speak to you directly until you have completed your mission. The blessing I have bestowed upon you is permanent. Your friends' boons will not last as long, but will be powerful in their own rights. Now go, Veil. Do what you know is right to be done, and do so knowing that when you speak in my name, you speak with my authority. And just like that, you feel a rapid recession of every connection that you've just felt to all of the jungles of Chult. The last image that you see is as the vines recede from your rapier. You watch as the metal of your rapier rapidly corrodes and rusts and disintegrates into dust. Vines begin to twine themselves around the basket and the hilt and rise upward, reforming the shape of your rapier, wrapping these thin tendrils of vines, wrapping very tightly around one another until they form a thick, ebony, wood-like appearance of a rapier. Two things that you Well, actually, I'll get to that in just a moment. The mechanical portions of it. As this last thing happens, and you see your rapier take on this property, Berlinia and Eric, you see the Schwinga blow the dust into Vale's face. And then you see Vale sneeze involuntarily. And that's all the time that has passed for the two of you. Eric and Berlinia, give me perception checks.
26.
18.
You both also notice that it's the same moment that Dunala, or that Vale sneezes. Dunala seems to just disappear into a puff of black smoke. Vale, you know that Berlinia, Eric, and Dunala will have sensed no passage of time. You know that your rapier is now a magical +1 rapier, dealing +1 to damage and +1 to attack. It does now have the permanent effect of also looking like it is, the blade is made of ebony wood. And the basket and the handle have taken on a sort of vine-like filigree to it. You also have permanently increased your wisdom score by 2. Your score, not your modifier. So whatever your wisdom was, it is now permanently 2 more, as you have received the boon of the blessing of Ubtao. Berlinia, at the same moment that Vale sneezes... Oh, wait, Vale, there's one more thing that you know. Though you did not hear Ubtao say this, you know that Ubtao... what you sense as Dunala kind of disappears in a puff of smoke is that because of Dunala treading on the border between shadow and light, the sense that you have is essentially that Ubtao kind of wanted to pull Dunala aside and have a moment with him, like, I need to talk to you a minute, kind of thing. Berlinia, as this sneeze happens, and there's just this kind of, he sneezes and the sparkle stuff from the Chwinga kind of goes everywhere. You feel it settle over you, this dust, and you feel a power within you that you don't necessarily... Well, actually, give me a religion check.
Uh, 18.
You sense there's something holy, something divine about what you are feeling. And you sense that you have new ability, that you have been granted some sort of divine boon. And what you have been granted is the charm of restoration. What this means is that this charm mechanically has 6 charges. You can expend 4 charges to cast Greater Restoration. You can spend 2 charges to cast Lesser Restoration. Once all 6 charges have been expended, this boon is gone forever. Eric, you also feel something passing over you. And I would like a religion check from you.
Negative 300. Just kidding. It'll be a 15.
You can also sense the you can sense this divine nature of whatever has fallen over you. The feeling that you get is akin to the stories you have heard and possibly told yourself of the heroic deeds of adventurers. And you know that you have been granted a divine boon, the charm of heroism. What this means mechanically is that at any time as an action, you can call upon the charm of heroism. The effect, once used, will be gone forever. When you use it, you will gain 10 temporary hit points, and you will be under the same effect as if somebody had cast Bless on you, meaning you will get to roll a d4 whenever you roll an ability check, saving throw, or attack. And those two effects will last for 1 hour and then go away. Dunala will have to take up his blessings with Ubtao in their private conference. You feel this, both of you feel this lingering effect that to your eyes happens instantaneously. Vale, you have an awareness of exactly how much time has passed. And even though the presence of Ubtao has left, you feel now more so than at any point since you entered these jungles or set on these quests that there is no question that Ubtao is with you. What you make of it is entirely up to you. So, what would you guys do as this has just transpired and you have all just, in the immediate aftermath of a battle, have been blessed and seen Dunala vaporized into shadow?
I think Berlinia would run over to Vale. Vale, are you all right? Has this little thing, the Schwinga, disappeared?
There's no sign of a Schwinga anywhere.
She didn't see one?
You all saw it.
Oh, okay.
But it's gone, and it's that, not like you just saw it disappear. It's gone to the point where you're like, did I really see that?
Okay. Yeah. So she would run over. Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I am. And I'll just kind of look down at the kind of rigid ebony, kind of hardened vine blade, and I'll just kind of sheath it. I think I understand now. And I'll just kind of put my arm around her. I understand Ubtao now. I mean, I still don't know why he's chosen me, but I understand. And I understand what we have to do. We have to go get the Soulmonger back. Kill or re-kill whatever's taking control of it. We have to release this power back into Faerun, back into Toril. We can do this. It's what we need to do. Now, let's go find this black orchid. Get it back so we can fly ourselves over. Well, okay, so I can fly myself. You can already fly, and well, there's Eric who can already fly, and pretty sure that even Dunala could probably fly, given enough mushrooms and strange fungus that he can consume. Possibly in a metaphorical speaking, but let's do this. About you? You all right? Sorry, here I am going on about myself. You okay? Eric, are you okay? I was kind of shout.
I am doing pijikin if I do so say myself. I do not
Excellent.
have such a revolutionary sneeze as you, but I am under my own kind of.
Good. I don't know, for a second I thought I was going to turn into a plant. It was the weirdest thing. Just for one moment, I felt connected to all of Chult.
Sometimes when I sneeze, I feel like my head has exploded twice over.
No, I felt
Powerful
connected.
I felt there, no?
No, I felt connected to everything. Everything, every animal, every rock, plant, tree, everything. And
well, you technically are if you count your boots on the ground. No?
Just stop. No, and then I spoke to Ooptao. Like, I really spoke to Ooptao. And he told me that I'm the voice. I am the proper voice of Ooptao. It's an amazing feeling. And I feel good. Really, really good. I just feel like I understand things more. If that makes any sense. But I feel like I'm ready. I think we're all ready. And I'm going to look around for any bit of wildlife.
There's still birds flying all around, butterflies.
All right, I'm going to look for any like small land-based critters that maybe just like wandering around that I can like probably pick up that they actually live in this vicinity, in this place.
Roll me a d20.
You got it. 16.
On the nearby tree, you see a yucca beetle climbing along, slowly making its way along the tree.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to that yucca beetle and I'm going to cast Speak with Animals. And I'm going to say, Oi, sorry, I know you're busy, but have you seen any black orchids around?
I'd have known you were casting Speak with Animals.
That's it. I'm in it to win it. I'm gonna yak with that yakka beetle. I'll see myself out.
You know why they call it the yucca beetle?
Mm.
Just go on and they'll go on and on and on and on.
That's fine.
Yes, the rest of this session will be Vale talking with a yucca beetle.
And just being too polite to walk away. Like, okay, done talking with you now. Excuse me.
And then this happened. You can't believe what happened next.
All right. So, sorry. Your question to the yucca beetle was:
have you seen a black orchid around here? Black flower, probably about yay big.
The beetle stops climbing. Just stops in its movement, and it sort of pivots 180 degrees, pivots back, and then sort of repositions itself so that it's partway around the circumference of the tree, so that it's looking at you. Are you talking to me?
Aye, yeah, I'm talking to you. I know. Holy shit, a talking half-elf. It's fine. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But yeah, have you seen a black orchid? A black flower? I mean,
the black orchid you seek. Sit down and let me tell you a tale. No, I'm
You
just
know
kidding.
what? You know what? I was gonna say, you know what?
So
I mean, that'll be great, mate, but we're a little pressed for time.
let me just say that Yaka beetles and the Ents from Lord of the Rings, one and the same. No,
Now, who would like to hear a story about a friend?
the Yaka beetle, or the Yaka beetle, the black orchid is guarded by the mistress of Nangalore. She keeps it with her.
I'm just gonna throw this out there, but is the mistress of Nangalore just some big giant, like angry-looking spider or something?
Oh, there
Oh,
are
thank
spiders in Nangalore, to be
Oh.
certain,
Thank fuck, I really hate spiders.
but they are not the mistress.
All right then. Well, I mean, that's all right. Do you know exactly where this mistress is? Can you just kind of maybe point with a feeler or a digit, an appendage, kind of in the right direction?
She resides in the last of the stone places, man and beast, that is still intact. And the beetle sort of moves itself around the tree to the northeast side. And all of you would have, well, actually, I take that back. Eric was the only one who flew up and got a good look at the entire structure. But you get the sense through its communication that as it's talking, it's kind of pointing towards the northeast. And the other two of you just see Vale talking to a Yaka beetle. Is that the extent of your inquiry?
Oh, yeah. Right. Right. So it's in the last place, the last intact bit of stone, right? It's like probably just over that way or something. Just kind of. All right. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, we're good. Just let you go back to your I don't know, eating leaves. You do you. You do you. You seem like a perfectly good lad. Cheers, ta, and I'll just walk away from it.
Okay.
Hey, I didn't want to stay a while and listen. From a Yaka beetle.
Yes, they're called Yaka beetles, not yada 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 beetles.
Hey, you never know. This could be the one. It's like finally, one of you bipedal mammals, can talk to me. Like, listen, you guys got some issues that you need to, stop eating us. I didn't want some like preachy,
Hey, listen, hey.
It could have been the caterpillar from the beginning of Labyrinth.
Yeah,
Oh no, you don't want to go that way. I would have taken him straight to that dreaded Obu.
That's exactly.
They would have gone straight to that thing called the Soulmonger.
Yeah. Ooh, it even had an actual campaign. It would have just went right there. I mean, it's crazy. But
all right,
yeah. So I'll go back and let the other two know what direction, the information, and I'll like I don't know, suffice it with. So Eric, you got a good look at this place. Do you know what Yaki the Yaka beetle was talking about?
Are you talking to the more northeastern place that is intact over yonder? The one I saw with my very own eyes.
All right, well, let's head over there if all of you are ready.
Yeah, so
I was born already.
Eric, you wouldn't have seen that basically just north of you, where you are standing at this moment. You're actually kind of right up against a 20-foot, let's see. Actually, that would be 10 feet from where you guys are. A 10-foot high wall leading up to the next terrace, where there was that central area. And I'll go to the map here for reference.
I remember there's like a bunch of them. Yeah.
So right down the middle, you have this kind of boulevard that was flooded. And that is a giant Tyrannosaurus head right at the top center that the water is pouring out of. You guys are immediately to the left of that. We're just south of that set of stairs. And you have seen that there is the open area here, Eric, in the middle. That there is a massive Chultan warrior statue. And then there are two domes, one to the northwest and one to the northeast. The northwest one being devoured by trees and roots and crumbling. The dome to the northeast being the one that is still intact. So, how would you guys like to proceed?
Well, there is a dome to the northeast that is completely intact. Perhaps this is the one that your beetle was referring to.
Maybe.
Or perhaps it is one of these miniature entrances closer to the flooded plain here that we stand ourselves in. I do not know the which and the ways of the beetle.
You can see straight to the east, just across, because it's probably only about less than 100 feet away. You can see a set of stairs that lead up to the next terrace. You just have to go down and through the little tunnel, back through the other tunnel, come up and go up the stairs. Or you can just try to climb one of these walls or do whatever you want.
Perhaps I can go listen at the intact dome to the northeast and maybe investigate while you catch up behind me on your wee little legs.
Just be careful. You don't know what's over there.
Oh,
Something
believe me.
bring up.
The tales and the stories that we Aarakocra have of this place will put anything to shame.
All right. I mean, if you want to fly ahead, just
It
like
was me
Brill,
my honor.
well, just like Brill said, be careful. All right. Brill, I don't know. You feel like climbing?
Yeah, all right.
All right, if it'll get us there faster. So yeah, I'll go for it and try the climbing route.
You're going to try to climb up the wall that's in front of you?
I'll try. How high is that wall?
10 feet. It's
right.
Crumbling stone. I'll say if you're going to try to climb it, just make a athletics check.
And I'll hop up on top of the wall and just like help you up from it.
Do so with advantage.
Thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, I make it up. Matter of fact, not only do I make it up, but I do a really, really cool ass like parkour, like run up the side of the wall, flip up, do a front flip over top of it because I rolled the natty 20.
Nice.
So yeah, I just flip straight up and kick some ass.
So Vale has no trouble whatsoever climbing this wall. How about you, Berlinia?
Despite my -2, I got a 16.
Not quite as show-offy, I imagine, but it's super easy show-offy. that's our new word.
Hey, what can I say? It is, I'm filled with Ubtau's vigor.
All right, so you find yourself up on a small terrace. This little area that you're in, you kind of, as you come up to the wall, you end up, especially you, Vale, as you kind of climb up this wall really quickly, and get to the top, you realize that it's not flush. It just drops down a couple feet. It's a very like a thin wall surrounding this little walled-in garden area, and it's literally like 2 feet. So you kind of drop in amongst all these other plants. The plants in this enclosed garden area, much like throughout this entire place, are like nothing you've ever seen. Shapes, colors, they're sparkling like gems in the sunlight. And you just get this sense of serenity while you are in here. And I would like a first a perception check from all three of you.
Yeah, 18.
21.
14 from me.
All right. So you see hold on, I'm shifting between maps. What do you see? Whoa, 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 whoa. You see along the southern edge of this area, there is a on the wall, in that same language that you've seen scratched before, you see words written there. And Vale, I believe, was the only one who had been able to decipher these words. And Vale, what you see written, scratched into the wall, is, without dreams, eternity is unbearable. And I would like a Constitution saving throw from all of you.
Oh no.
Oh, thank goodness for die rolls. I got a 16 Constitution saving throw.
Got a 14.
Okay, hang on a second here. I just want to write that down. And I got an 18.
Does anybody here have proficiency in medicine or nature?
Nature for me. I know my herbs and my plants and my animals.
Nobody
I don't know
else
why I
has-
don't have it in medicine. That doesn't make sense, but I don't.
You don't need medicine if you got healing hands, you know.
True.
I am immune to disease, though. So there is that.
Right.
You don't need medicine either.
So, Eric, you actually, as you're looking at these plants, and you guys are kind of standing in amongst them, and with your successful check, you realize that these plants in this garden area are soporifics. Can anybody tell me what soporific means?
I don't know, but it sounds dirty.
Sounds like a type of sponge ad.
I gotta ask, what kind of sponge were you talking about? Because I feel like I was probably thinking of the opposite kind of sponge. I don't know why my mind went there.
Soporific is a plant that induces.
So, I had to look it up. I knew this at one time, but it basically, Eric, you know that these plants, they are the type of plants that are used to, they have hallucinogenic properties, and they also can be used in various forms, including the natural oils that are on them, to put people to sleep. You have all resisted the effects of these plants, though.
I'll relay this to the two. Mind your step here in this garden. These flowers here, they will knock you out in a heartbeat. They are good for tea, but not for accidental sleeps.
Berlinia kind of looks at them, and she kind of, her eyebrows furrow for a second. She takes a step forward into them and bends down and kind of,
what are you doing?
Touches them. No, I think I'll be okay. I have an Eldritch Invocation. That means I cannot be put to sleep by any means.
All right. I would like... I want a wisdom saving throw from... I'm going to have all of you do it. I'm sorry, not saving throw, just a wisdom check. Or would it be wisdom? No, it would be... actually, it would be an intelligence check.
Whatever the fuck it is.
I'll let that at 20. I'll let that at 20 go. So Eric, first I'll ask you this: since you are a native to Chult and of Kir Sabal, have you made any trips to Port Nyanzaru, the port city in the north of Chult?
Eric definitely has, yeah.
Then you would know of the merchant princes, and that each of the merchant princes has different specialties. With that check, you know that if you wished, you could spend about 30 minutes in this little garden, and you could gather some leaves from these plants. And that the merchant prince Jessamine will pay up to 20 gold per pound for these leaves.
Hey, mademoiselle, you say you do not bother by these soporifics? I know that we can fetch a pretty coin for a good handful of these ones. If you connais bien que je sais.
You mean sell them?
Yeah, of course. Sell them, yeah, oui.
Do you know what they're going to be used for?
Well, you see, they are good for putting people to sleep, and so, therefore, some people are having a hard time with their sleep, and this could help them out très bien.
Oh, so for health. Yes, of course. And Berlina would start picking.
Okay. So you can spend as much time as you want. It'll take you 10 minutes to gather a pound of leaves. So 30 minutes for 3 pounds, or 6 pounds in an hour. If you wanted to, perhaps, because I don't remember what everybody's state was after the last fight. If you wanted to use this as a long rest while you gather leaves, you could do that. I see Mike shaking his head. So if you want to spend, it's a light enough activity that I would count it towards your long rest. So you can spend hit dice as you wish. Any other abilities that are active for a long rest, a short rest, you may do so.
I'm sure the flowers here are going to help with this long rest too.
Yeah, I will say Berlinia is the only one who is not permanently affected by these. So what would Eric and Vale do while Berlini is gathering these? Would you rest here in the garden? Would you? There's a stairs. I'll show you the map again.
Eric is gonna perch in a nearby tree.
I I mean, I would probably see if I can help Berlin in any way, and if there's no point to it, then I'd probably want to run some type of a quick perimeter, just to make sure that nothing's going to come sneaking up on us, or maybe even. And if everything is good there, then probably just have a wander around, check out the ruins, and well, not wander too far, but wander close enough just to make sure the ruins are okay. And
Okay, well, you're in this little garden where it says plus 15 feet on the left hand side, and you're at the base of this kind of partial structure that has crumbling walls. There's more of these carved elephant figures, one kind of looking over the garden area where you are. There's stairs up to the northwest, so you could absolutely wander around a little bit. Give me an investigation check.
not phenomenal, but that's a 13.
Okay. So you notice to the south along the walkway that there is, and you can kind of see it there, the statue that's covered in webbing. And that would be one that Eric had previously seen. You get kind of a look at this crumbled dome, and you see that it is just draped with spider webs, and they don't look like old cobwebs. They look like spider webs that would be relatively recent. You can see that the this central area that seems to sort of tower over you a little bit. There's this crumbling dome. Part of it crumbled away, and you can see the top head and shoulders of a statue just visible in a broken area of the dome. You can see remnants of gold filigree still remaining in the dome. It looks like you might be able to climb up it. You can see that on the western side there are a set of stairs and an opening that lead inside this dome structure. There is also another crumbling smaller dome to the north on the same walkway.
Okay. I'll like I said, I'm not going to go too far away, maybe no more than 100, or actually maybe no more than like 80 feet from where the other two are. And then any pertinent information I gather, I'll just bring it back to those two and let them know what's up.
So would you go closer toward the spider web covered dome, or towards the crumbling dome to the north, or towards the central large dome?
Probably a little bit more to the central large dome. I would think spider webs and be like, I'm having none of that, mate, and then just kind of stick around the northern area, kind of have a look into this large Chultan statue, the kind of pool in the kind of in the center, just kind of have a quick, just having a quick look around and finding out what's what.
So you can see that central dome as I had described it, and you can see now you really don't have to go that far from the garden. You only go about 30. Once you get up the stairs, you only go about 30 feet, and there is some crumbling masonry and stuff, but there's stairs and an opening that lead inside this giant domed, almost like a palace. Would you investigate inside, or would you kind of linger outside?
I'd probably have a look back. I'll maybe try and get Eric's attention, and just to kind of let him know that I'm like, I'm going in there. And then I'm just kind of like, you keep a watch out on Brill. I'm gonna just have a look, and then I'm going to sneak in there, and be very careful not to disturb some stuff.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
This is why I'm the worst paladin, because I have like a really high stealth. Really high stealth. That's a 19.
All right. So the first thing that you notice is that the debris that's lying at the stairs are the rusted remnants of 2 iron doors that have completely rusted off their hinges and disintegrated. Pieces of the rusty, worn metal drape across these stairs, and there are only three small risers that lead up into the interior of the palace. Are you going to actually head up in to the inside to take a look?
I'm probably going to try and hide in like just around those 2, like the large remnants of those doors, and just kind of peer in to see if I can see anything before I actually just walk right in.
Okay. And with your stealth roll, you're able to get up there without... the big thing is you're having to step around these pieces of metal. And you get right up to the edge, and you can see inside the palace. And what you see is at the northern side of the interior, an 18-foot tall stone statue of a Chultan warrior wearing splint armor. And also wearing a helmet that is festooned with Tyrannosaurus teeth, and bearing a shield of intricately patterned leopard hide. The statue towers over the chamber and is looming over this large octagonal cistern. Inside here, you can hear that there's the echoing sound of dripping water just dripping from the remaining parts of the dome ceiling and just drip, drip, drip down into the cistern. The face of this giant warrior statue is completely obliterated by deep gouges, but the rest of the statue is intact. Clutched in the statue's right hand.
What kind of gouges? Like, are we talking like gouges from the wear of time, or gouges from something that's was pretty angry? Because if something
these
is
are
big
not
enough...
these are not what do you call it? Erosion gouges. These are gouges in the stone. These are completely gouged.
Like someone who's got a claw fetish decided to just rip this thing up a bit, because
sure looks that way.
Okay.
Clutched in the statue's right hand is a stone spear, and resting on the floor beneath it is a clay urn. You can see beyond and behind the statue that there's a balcony that opens, and you can see daylight behind it. Standing to one side of this giant warrior is another statue. It's kind of just below and next to its right hand that's holding the spear. This statue is intricately detailed and exquisitely lifelike, depicting a man reaching for the urn, his face turned toward the balcony. And then you can see just to your right, immediately to your right, you can see some stairs that lead upward and curve around towards a crumbling balcony. And since you are... Remind me, do you have dark vision?
Yes, I do.
So you would be able to see this as well. Up above, you can't quite see what it says, but up on that balcony, near the ceiling, or in the lower part of the dome ceiling, something has been scratched. Some sort of message.
If I try and focus my eyes and look really hard, would I be able to see it from here?
You can see it, but you don't have $6 million man bino eye. So you would need to get closer to be able to read it.
Fair enough. Okay, then against my better judgment. Yeah. You're like, yeah, this doesn't make me paranoid at all. Now I understand how the waffle crew feels. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit. I'm gonna try and move stealthily, cover to cover, so I can get closer. And I'm gonna first what I want to do is I want to move to the first to the first thing of cover stealthily, and then have a quick look at the that much more intricate statue that's reaching for the urn. I want to, and I'll try and I'll determine it after if I make it.
So you're going for the statue?
Yeah, I'm gonna. At first, so I'm just going to move like cover to cover. So like stay hidden, move stealthily along, try not to disturb anything or pique anything's interest.
Okay. So you roll me a stealth check, and Berlinia, you during this time are gathering the leaves of these various plants and securing them away. As I said, if you're going to take the whole hour to do it, you can gather about 6 pounds of these. So just write down that you have 6 pounds of hallucinogenic leaves, and that you know that you can sell these for 20 gold a piece back in Port Nyanzaru. And Eric, you went to perch in a tree. Would you?
Yeah.
What direction would you have gone? There's trees all over.
I'm relatively near the garden, but he wants the tree to be like tall enough that he basically has advantage of basically everything.
So you've got the tree that's right there where you guys had come up. You've got the tree off to the left that's along the outer wall of the Gardens of Nangalore.
Yeah, there's one that's like right.
And there's one right above you. It would be kind of between that dome tower to the northwest that's crumbling and the big palace where Vale is creeping into. Where it says.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's kind of just like laying down on one of these branches and kind of just whistling, looking over at Brill every now and then, looking down at where Vale had gone in. He's just kind of like whittling and sharpening his arrows.
Is he whittling or whistling or both?
Both.
Oh. Okay. Excellent. Give me a perception check. I'm gonna say straight. I was gonna give you advantage for being perched, but you're kind of doing multiple things at once, so just straight perception.
Yeah, 26 perception.
Okay. You sense to the north, coming from in that area where that big dome structure that's all crumbling is. The dome is about 40 or 50 feet in diameter. And you can hear sounds like shifting of stone and slight, well, you would recognize very avian-like sounds, like almost like roosting birds. Kind of a sound coming from inside that structure.
Is it the northwest dome?
Yep.
Yep. Does it seem to be getting louder or more cacophonous, or is it just a
No,
gentle?
it's just sort
noise?
of it's sort of a continuous.
Right. He'll continue to sharpen more arrows.
Vale, what was your stealth roll?
I got a 24.
You are able to.
Yeah, gun ninja.
You are able to. Let me go back here to the map. So I got to find a better way to incorporate this. So you're in this central area here. And where the little circle with the star is, that is the smaller statue.
Okay.
And directly underneath that hand is where the urn is, the hand that holds the spear.
Gotcha.
This statue, now that you are close up to it, you can see that it is a human, a statue of a human. The features appear to be Chultan. The statue is facing toward the balcony behind the giant statue. It is reaching toward the urn, and the expression carved into the face of the statue as it stares out at the balcony is one of terror. On the floor at the statue's feet, in the same old Omuan language, is scratched some words that read, "Once a thief, forever a slave."
And that's written in Chultan?
Old Omuan, the same language as all these other things you've been finding around Nangalore.
Can I determine roughly like how long ago they were scratched in there?
Yeah, give me I'm gonna call it a survival check.
That's cool. Just go ahead and okay, here we go. Well, it's a good thing I used that as one of my skills. That's a 14.
So it doesn't look like freshly scratched, but there's still a roughness to the carving that it looks like it's been scratched sometime within it could be within the last few months or the last couple years. You're not entirely certain, but it doesn't seem, it doesn't have that worn look like something that was scratched like centuries ago.
Now here's another really dumb question, but as I'm looking at it, can I read it, or is it technically upside down that I would have to get like from where the balcony is to read it? So I'm basically trying to determine, did this person, or was this statue like a person that actually scratched it in there and then, I don't know, maybe struck a cool final pose? Or did an individual, was this individual turned to stone and then someone scratched it as a warning?
So the words are scratched into the floor next to the statue. Anything beyond that would be purely conjecture on your part.
Oh, curse your lawyer speak. All right, fair enough.
I mean, there's really no way for you to determine who carved it or
I gotcha.
the state by which they carved it.
Oh, and I guess one other thing too is I'd like to look around to see if I can see any sort of carvings or any sort of reliefs or any sort of a thing that seems to have some sort of a snake-like like pattern to it or relief to it.
All right, give me an investigation check.
All right.
Berlinia. I would like, as you're gathering up the last of these leaves, I would like a perception check from you.
And that's a straight up 16 for me, by the way.
I got a 12.
And give me one more perception check there, Eric.
$23.
Okay, so Eric, you notice that through openings around the backside of this dome, you can see some figures moving in and amongst the crumbled debris to the north, and kind of, you see 3 of them dart very low to the edge of the wall, moving swiftly to the east. You would know what these are, particularly as Ashara mentioned them as one of the primary reasons why most of the Aarakocra do not come here. These are Iblis, which are, they're stork-like birds, but they are 8 feet tall, very slender, and they move on long legs, and they do that thing, they've got their head really low and thrust forward, their wings sort of drape back, and they're scuttling very quickly low to the wall towards the eastern dome.
Are they intelligent or bestial?
I would like
What even?
you to give me a history check.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to say
Legal-
do so with advantage because of your Kirsabal knowledge.
22. Thanks, advantage.
So what you know is that Iblis are intelligent creatures, and the lore as it has been passed down through the generations of the Aarakocra is, it is believed that Iblis, or excuse me, Ibli, I should say, the S is silent. Ibli are thought to be reincarnations of evil humans who were punished by gods for acts of larceny or kidnapping.
Huh.
Though they are very, very much avian, they are considered not to be quite natural, and they're intelligent, and they manipulate things with their feet and with their beaks. You see, with that perception check that you rolled, you see a couple more moving out and kind of skirting around the outer edge of the wall to the south. Berlinia, with your perception check, the most you notice is that around you, while you've been working, all of the brightly colored parrots and macaws and birds and butterflies seem to have thinned out and either settled in trees or have flown away. There seems to be noticeably less activity around you.
And I think when she finishes up, she's just going to wander over to Eric. She holds up the the bag. I think I got all of them.
And he's signing a bunch of stuff with his talons and stuff. I don't know if you can comprehend it, but it is essentially the sign language and gestures that the scouts of Kirsabal would use to notify each other in silence.
Yeah, she just gives you this really. I mean, she understood the first part, which is the. So she would, she would kind of give you this worried look, and she would kind of walk up to underneath the tree. "Oh, where's Vale?"
Pointing to the one where Vale is. There's 3 things over there. Pointing to the other one.
Are they in the similar direction, or are they in opposite
Well,
directions?
if Eric is at my wrists,
Mhm.
Vale is over here in this one, and then the creepy buggers are over here.
We have to go warn him. And she would try and make her way over.
Vale. While they're whispering and signing and failing to communicate very effectively, you are continuing.
I mean, I'm just going to say, in a metagaming wise, this is almost kind of telling. I mean, I'm just, I'm just between you and me. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Yeah. Anyway,
as they continue doing this, you are oblivious as you were specifically lurking, yes, but also looking for any sort of snake-like imagery or serpent imagery.
That is correct. And I rolled a natural 16 for my investigation.
You do not see any carvings of any snakes. You have seen the statues of dinosaurs and elephants outside. You have seen the carvings pretty much all around the outside have been elephants and like the Tyrannosaurus. Inside there seems to be more smaller reliefs of some of these creatures and other jungle-like creatures. But you do notice in the water down below, this cistern has collected quite a bit of rainwater. Looks like there's probably about 8 or 10 inches of rainwater. And moving in and around it, you can see that the water seems to almost be rippling and writhing with snakes. Just regular, normal snakes. Picture the floor of the room in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I'm trying not to, but I get it.
But they are below you in a pit.
Yeah, that means nothing. Because Tomb of Annihilation, right? So I'll very carefully kind of look at the clay jar and just see if I want to see if there's any sort of trap. Actually, no, forget it. I'm not even touching it. I'm not even going to look at it. It is not important. There's no black orchid in there, which I doubt. So forget it. I'm going to sneak back towards the other two.
So, are you looking in the urn or not?
Not looking in the urn. I'm not going to touch the urn. I am just going to sneak back to everyone else, realizing that, hey, if someone, because this clearly looks like it is an ex-person who decided to go and reach for this dang thing, and suddenly now is an incredibly lifelike and shockingly terrified statue, because normally people don't carve statues like that, you know. So I'm just gonna be like, no, you know what? I'm going back. I'm going back, and I'm gonna sneak back.
As you turn to sneak back, I would like you to roll for initiative. I'm just kidding. I would like you to roll insight.
All right, let me see if I. Oh, actually, that's right. I actually have stuff in that. Oh, shoot, that fell. Great. So that's a 12.
Okay. You turn away and you begin heading back out towards the others. Have you made the necessary adjustments to your scores that were affected by your increase in
Yes.
wisdom? Okay, I just wanted to
I
make
did.
sure. I meant to remind you of that afterwards, that with your increase, obviously it affects stats. To make sure you don't forget to include that, because I imagine that probably bumped your wisdom
It
bonus,
does.
your
Yes.
modifier by at least 1 or 2.
It does bump it up by 1.
Okay.
So yeah.
Just
I'm
wanted
in
to
the
make sure you're
plus
taking
twos
that
now.
into consideration. You say you're plus 2 now?
Yeah.
Excellent. So meanwhile, as you start to head outside, are you sneaking back out again then?
Oh yeah.
Stealth.
I'm not just gonna be like clomping through
Oh,
because
I'm done.
well, considering that this is basically like jungle Australia and everything in this place can kill you. I'm sneaking back. I'm being careful.
All right.
So yeah.
So give me one more stealth check.
Done and done. All right, that's a 21, baby.
You are able to move out ever so quietly, dodging the rubble, dodging the pieces of the rusted, broken door that are laying across the steps. As Vale is making his way back towards you, Eric and Berlinia, as Eric, you're kind of motioning and signing and trying to get Berlinia to understand you. These creatures, these Eebly, the 3 completely scuttled out of view to the east, and to the path to the south of you, you notice as 3 of them are now kind of walking. They're 8-foot tall bird stature, very high. Their head stays stationary as their body. They kind of do, very exaggerated motions. They're incredibly slender bird creatures. I mean, just imagine an 8-foot tall bird, kind of like like an ostrich, but not so comical. These things, incredibly long, sharp beaks. 3 of them are moving in almost like a shoulder to shoulder along the path towards you. 3 more emerge from that dome structure and are standing looking up in the tree at you, Eric. The others are looking at you, Berlinia. Vale, you emerge into the sunlight. And as you come out next to Berlinia, you see these 6 birds, 3 to the north and 3 to the south, moving in around you. These 8-foot tall bird creatures that you've never seen before. What would you like to do?
I would like to knock some arrows.
I will look like just out at these creatures and then quickly look for like some confirmation on like you're seeing this, right, from both Berlinia and Eric. So just kind of look at those 2 and kind of, okay, what
I think Berlinia is just looking as confused at Eric. Like trying to look to him to see if we should attack right away or wait or,
These things are the demons of Nangalor. But he doesn't say that too loud. Whispering it. You see him like totally getting ready for a skirmish here as he's knocking his arrows and resting his quiver on his side, and is he ready to leap from the branch and take flight.
As you begin to knock your arrows, you notice the birds begin moving in closer. All at once, all 6 birds, there's a moment where they make a sort of kind of almost like a loud purr sound that seems to surround you in this sort of stereo sound as they're all doing it in unison. And as they do it, their bodies sort of vibrate and shimmer and shift slightly out of focus as all 6 of these birds appear blurred. And at that same moment, they lurch towards you. And I would like you to roll for initiative.
Well,
Let's see. Yeah. And all right. Whoa. All right, Eric, what did you get?
9.
Berlinia
22.
and Vale.
18.
All right. Berlinia, you're up first. It is very evident that these things are moving with hostility towards you.
Berlinia is going to release 2 Eldritch Blasts. She outstretches her hands, and these 2 blasts emanate immediately at the 2 closest. So would that be to the south?
The closer ones would probably be the 3 that are... There's 3 just to the north of you.
Oh, north.
And then 3 to the south of you.
Okay, so 2 of the 3 to the north, she would hit or try to hit each of them with an Eldritch Splash and push them back 10 feet.
All right.
So that's a 13 and an 18 to hit.
What was the first one?
13?
Both of those hit.
The first one does 3 points of damage, and the next one does 12.
And they're both pushed back?
Yeah, 10 feet.
Yeah, you see them they kind of flare their wings as they skitter involuntarily backwards, struck by these blasts. They immediately flap their wings, and these 2 that you just struck are both going to attack at you. And all 6 birds begin to divide and conquer. 2 of them from the north fly up into the tree. 1 from the north and 1 from the south lurch towards Vale. As you are each getting attacked twice by 2 birds for a total of 4 attacks against each of you. So, Berlinia, the first, I think the 2 that you struck are still thrown off as they kind of fly in towards you. What's your AC again?
17.
Yeah, they don't even come close as you're kind of just almost as if it's like you're finishing the casting of the Eldritch Blasts. You just seem to almost dance around them as they dart in. Both of their beaks, the first strikes just kind of missing you. Their second attacks, you said 17, right? One of them comes really close. And that second attack from the third one is a 22. as it finds you, and it sorry, I'm looking for which damage die it is, and strikes you as you sort of, with that last movement, you sort of dance into it. You take 7 points of piercing damage as its beak punctures into you. Vale, these two birds, as you just kind of have come out here, and these blurry birds come rushing at you, and the first two attacks also miss you. I imagine with a 12 and an 8. And they're sort of flapping their wings and skittering their long feet along the ground, trying to stop themselves, almost like they kind of slid past you as they struck. And then I imagine a 12 misses you, but a 19, does that hit?
That does hit, yeah.
So then one of them finds a place to strike you for 4 points of piercing damage. And then the two fly up to you, Eric. And they swoop in and around you in the tree. The first, my lord, these dice keep rolling single digits. So that's a 10 and a 9.
Okay.
As they just miss you, and then they swoop in one more time. I have not done this in this game before, but both of these dice are out. Those were a 2 and a 6.
Look, I know I'm going to get flack for this, but remember, you do have a point of inspiration.
Hey.
And I'm not going to use it on that.
All right.
So there's that one, and I'm going to grab my metal D20 here. Actually, I should use my Atcon D20 since Connor's using his.
I'm using mine and Megan.
So, there's an OCD part of me that's freaking out because how do you know whose is whose? And I'm not even kidding. There's a part of me that's like, wait, you were each given one. One of those is yours and one is Megan's. Which is which?
Oh, now which one?
Now I attack with disadvantage. No, I'm just kidding. So they have all... You just had a total of 12 attacks against the three of you, and only 2 landed.
That's skill right there.
It is now
our burden to bear. I mean, it's unfortunate, but
Vale, you are engaged with 2 of these Ebly.
All right. I'm gonna go strike the first one.
Your dice are on fire tonight. All right, so as a reminder,
I gotta remember to keep this one for tomorrow when I put you guys in that unwinnable situation.
Right. So as a reminder, critical hits are maximum dice or maximum damage, then roll your damage die one more time.
Yep, so that's 15 plus 15 plus 1. So 16 points of damage, and yes, I did add the +1 because it's a +1 rapier.
Yes, your new magical rapier.
Key. Yeah. So I hit him. I hit him there, and then I'm gonna hit. I'll go and attack the next one. I'm assuming the first one is the first one dead or no?
You did 16 damage to it.
Correct. Yeah.
It is not dead.
All right. Then I'm gonna go at and hit the next one.
All right.
And that is a 22 to hit.
Absolutely a hit.
Okay. And I'm gonna use Divine Smite. So I'm gonna just at level 1. So I'm just gonna scratch off a level 1 spell slot. So that is need one of you. All right, so it's oh wow, it's so strong. So this is going to be 15 points of piercing plus another 9 points of radiant damage.
For a total of 24. What does this look like with your new Ubtao Blessed rapier as you destroy with smite? this Eebly bird.
So I would imagine that for just a brief moment, like I'm about to stab it, but I don't actually hit it. But you see for a moment all of the tendrils just begin to unfurl and kind of open up like this blossoming jungle plant. And then as it's doing that, like this radiant spectral blade appears, and I just stab into it, just dealing this incredible amount of damage.
Fantastic. 1 down, 5 to go. And actually, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to take away anything on that, but I forgot because they are blurred. All attacks against them are at disadvantage. That's my bad.
I
mean, you're good. So I'm just gonna screw over Connor and Megan. Eric, you are up. Currently 2 of these bird creatures flying around you.
Yeah, and so did one of them end their turn within 5 feet of me?
That you're engaged with both of them, so
my reaction will be used to like just fly out 25 feet as a skirmisher from that. As they're like harassing me, I'm just like fly out. As I fly out, I got my bow knocked with an arrow. Cunning action, just like dash even higher out and just like fire an arrow from like 75 feet away.
Okay.
At one of the things that were pestering me. I said disadvantage, so I'll roll Megan's die along with my die. That'll be a 16 to hit.
That is going to hit.
All right. That'll be 5 points of piercing damage.
Your arrow finds its mark, but doesn't seem to hinder this creature too much.
Then I'll move another 50 feet to be 125 away from this.
Are you going straight up or
diagonal up? Yeah.
Okay.
It's in this altitude.
Damn Aarakocra.
Flying.
Berlinia. You also are engaged with the 2 that you have struck with your Eldritch Blast.
Berlinia seems to be distracted. She casts another 2 Eldritch Blasts, but they both miss. And she's trying to pay attention. She's trying to hone in, to concentrate her magic, but with the pain of this attack that she had the last time, she just can't seem to.
And your Eldritch Blast, as they fly wide, one of them just disappears into the jungle. The other one hits the nearby statue, and a chunk of stone erupts. But that's all the damage you do. As these birds, now only one of them on Vale, is going to take 2 quick strikes with its beak at Vale. All right, this is what the first roll for my Atcon D20. Can you see that?
That
is a critical failure, and that is me throwing that die back in the bag. And the other one is a 14,
which does not hit. If that's like 14 all told, then yeah, it doesn't hit.
Oh yeah. So
the magic number is 16.
So the one bird steps on some rubble, and as it lunges at you, it kind of skitters that awkward, its legs splay, and as it flaps its wings, it spins around toward you, presenting you with an opportunity attack, as that's how I do.
That's right.
Crit fails.
Okay, but hang on a second, because I'm gonna remember this time. I'm gonna roll 2d20.
Yes, it is at disadvantage.
Yep. And the other one's a 10, so it's 10 plus 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay, and that is 13 points of piercing damage. So I'd like to think that
you kill it, by the way.
Yeah, I like to think that as I finished killing this one thing, I didn't really react fast enough, and this bird is about to attack me. Just as I pull out the rapier, and not even realizing, but I'm just like pulling out the rapier wildly, I accidentally point it right at the moment the bird slips and falls right on the rapier, and then just kind of like my whole arm kind of goes down, and I'm like, what the? Oh. Then I'll kind of look around quickly to hopefully realize that no one noticed that was a complete fluke.
Perhaps it was powered by the wonder of the Castle Mac raid that just hit us. Castle Mac just raided us with 28 viewers. So as per usual, because of that, you have earned another domain devil, which I have already put up on the board. Thank you, Castle Mac crew, and all of everybody that has just come along with them as we are continuing in Nangalore within Chult, as they are battling now for Ebly. And that was just the first two, or the first one that was attacking at Vale, who is now dispatched as two. Berlinia, your Eldritch Blast flying wide, missing these two. They're going to dart in again with their beaks, trying to strike you, each one taking 2 attacks. Their first two, that's a natural 19, so that's going to be a 24 to hit, and then the other is a 13, which misses you. So as that beak strikes into you, you take 5 more points of piercing damage. They both lash out again. A 21, so that same bird that struck you strikes again, dealing another 7 points of piercing damage. As its beak finds you, you're getting perforated by these Ebly beaks. And you, Eric, have flown approximately, what, like 150 feet now? You're up in the air?
125, from these things.
Let's see. Yeah, they are going to, both of them fly up towards you, closing 40 feet off, so that still leaves them about 85 feet away from you. I need to check the range on something. What is that again? So the range is 120 feet. As both of them come towards you, you just see they've previously been blurred out by this effect. Suddenly they come into sharp focus, and then there's a dazzling array of a twisting pattern of colors that emanate outward from them as they fly up towards you and flare their wings. It's as if sunlight is refracting in towards you. And I need you to, first of all, I'm going to acknowledge Devin Rue's domain die, or rather domain devil, just because she wants more devils. Thanks for the 500 bits, Devin Rue. I have a feeling Connor may need that. Connor, Eric, I need you to make 2 wisdom saving throws.
Oh, yikes.
Because you are saving against 2.
I would like to use the devil, please.
Devin Ruse, Domain Devil. Wow, that's a mouthful. Devin Ruse, Domain Devil comes to immediate use to counteract a critical fail. So re-roll that. And the new result is... All right,
So,
so...
that'll be a total of 3 for the first one.
So...
Oh, and a total of 4 for the second one.
So I need to double check something because this effect has hit you while you are about 125 feet in the air.
Spin burn.
Do you? I don't believe you do, but I have to ask this. Do you have anything that prevents you from being charmed?
Nope. Just my wisdom save, which
did not work, as
Nope,
you are
wisdom.
completely enamored with these hypnotic patterns that have come towards you.
pretty colors, those beautiful colors.
You
Shiny.
are incapacitated, and you have a speed now of 0. You are... let's see. Just double checking incapacitated. You cannot take any actions or reactions. I will say that your innate birdness is that basically all you can do is flap your wings enough to stay aloft.
Okay.
You will not
Yeah, I was just
attack
gonna
your
look up-
targets. You will not take any actions, nor will you take any reactions.
So a standard limp, I guess, then. Nice.
And you do not get any additional saving throws. So, Berlinia and Vale, give me perception checks. Berlinia at disadvantage.
A 6.
Sorry, can I ask you for that one more time?
Perception.
Perception? Okay. And that is a 15.
You, Vale, having dispatched the Ibli that were attacking you, you have a moment to kind of look around you and just assess the fight. And you notice that Berlinia is getting, you can see she's bleeding through her robes, and she's taking damage from these 2 birds that are surrounding her. A quick glance high above, and you notice that Eric is about 125 feet kind of up and at an angle to the north, with 2 of these birds flying towards him, brightly colored patterns streaming toward him. And his bow now hangs limp in his hands. And he just has this sort of passive look as his wings are flapping just enough to hold him aloft.
All right. I'm just trying to double check to see what I can do.
And actually, that is a good point.
Yeah, I had to say something, didn't you?
Well, I was actually kind of in the process of looking it up.
Oh.
With that perception check, Vale, you notice as Eric sort of, he's flapping, and then you see as these colored patterns are just dancing all around him, you see his wings just sort of fold against his back. And there's just this moment where Eric looks to be standing in the air, and then you see his body just go lean backwards, and he begins to plummet 125 feet towards the ground.
Okay, now a quick question. How long would it take, math folks,
All right,
How
math
long-
question. Pull out your
yeah.
calculators.
Yeah, pull out your calculators. How long would it take for one individual to fall 125 feet?
Ignoring air resistance.
Oh well, yeah, obviously because hollow bones. Because here's what I'd like to do.
I have an answer.
How long? One action?
No.
Like 6 seconds, one full round, or
Nope.
okay?
I'm basically taking acceleration of I forget what it is, 30 feet per second. Using, this is just me saying that standard movement is 30 feet. Standard humanoid movement is 30 feet per round.
Okay.
But by the second round, his speed will be at dash speed. So I'm going to say in the third round, Eric will strike. So
Okay.
you basically have 3 rounds if you're going to attempt to salvage the plummeting Birdman.
Yeah, I feel like my birdie body will help slow my fall to some
In
extent.
the meantime, I'm going to get 12d6 ready
Nice.
for the falling damage, should it have to happen.
Okay. How close am I to the 2 birds attacking Brill?
Relatively close. I'd say you're within about 15 feet. Yeah.
And if let's say I were to walk out to where Eric is and like literally stand there and watch him fall on top of me, how far would I have to walk out to where Eric?
So based on the directions and the distance and everything that he said, I'm going to go back to the map here for reference.
Yoinks.
Eric was at this tree that is, I keep moving my mouse like you can see it, but that tree that's kind of on the left-hand side of the map.
Seen.
You, Vale, are...
You're talking about the stump, right?
Yeah, well, it's depicted as a stump, but it's a tree.
Gotcha.
You, Vale, are kind of in that right around where it says plus 20 feet.
Yep.
Berlinia is just to the left of that, closer to the statue.
Okay.
Eric is over the crumbled statues in the giant reflecting pool to the north.
Like where it says plus 10 feet?
Where it says plus 10 feet. So there's a chance he's either going to hit water or he's going to hit stone. At 125 feet, I don't think it's going to matter which he hits.
Huh.
So that means he is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50. About 60 feet linear distance, ground distance away from you.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run into the melee of both those birds like right away.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack both.
The 2 that have been attacking Brill.
Yeah. I'm going to jump right into melee and attack them both.
Excellent. You can see that they have both taken some damage.
Okay. So the first one is a 23 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
Okay. And that is, what the heck is that? 14 points of damage for the first one.
Left or right?
Left.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack the next one. And I'm going to use a divine smite on this one. And that's a 25 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
Okay, so we're looking at 2 and just double check here, because I keep saying this number, but I don't think I know what it means. There we go. Yeah, so that'll be 9 points of piercing, and 10 points of radiant.
For the third time, you dispatch one of these Eebly.
Okay, then... No, because I already moved.
You have moved about 15 feet.
Okay, then I'm going to move 15 feet in the direction of where Eric's falling. And just before I do, I'm going to give Brill a "You got this" look as I turn.
So you're gonna run through that little kind of, it's a garden area similar to the one you were in?
Unfortunately, yeah.
All right. So in this round, with the movement you have left, you will just be leaping down into the couple feet down into that garden area. It is Eric's turn, who is going to plummet. Eric has plummeted 30 feet. Just making I literally just wrote a 30 with an arrow pointing down. And then I have a straight line just a little bit below that represents 12d6 of damage.
Snap out of it.
Sorry,
man.
I'm not at all excited about rolling 12d6 of damage against you, Connor.
What's going to happen is all those d6s are going to be a 1. Like all the other
It would not be the first time. So that's going to take us to Berlinia.
Quick question. Can Eric keep rolling at the start of his turn for snapping out of it?
No, there is no additional saving throw for this particular spell.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I double checked that just to see if he had that opportunity. I will. Vale, because of that earlier perception check and you're focused on directly trying to do something to help him, I will allow you to make a Arcana check. Because you saw the spell effect.
Okay. I have 0 of it, so it'll be a straight roll, and it's a 9.
Yeah, you have no idea what this is.
I know nothing.
So after Berlinia, sorry. Berlinia, you are up. Vale had briefly jumped in, killed one of the evilly threatening you, and then immediately took off.
Yeah, Berlinia, because she didn't see what was happening, she, a little bit confused, looks back to see where Vale is heading. And at that point, would she see Eric?
I'm going to say give me another perception roll to see if you kind of notice that.
I'm going to use a devil.
Domain Devil.
Yes, I got a 1.
Whoops, that's the wrong button. There we go.
All right, that's much better. That is a 16.
Yeah, so this time you kind of see as Vale is sprinting across suddenly, and you see him as he's running and as he just starts to leap down into this other garden area filled with more of these soporific plants that you had previously harvested. He's looking up, and you kind of glance up, and you see Eric the Aarakocra, wings folded against his back, arms limp at his side, plummeting towards the ground.
Immediately, it's almost if Berlinia didn't even think. It was a reaction. As soon as she saw this, her face turns bright white and it just cascades down her body in this bright light, and these 2 wings come out, and she shoots off, flying towards Eric, taking opportunity attack from the...
All right, so you're using your Asimir ability. What is your fly speed?
30 feet.
And are you... Well, you used your action to do your thing, so you're just going the 30 feet.
Yes.
Okay. And he dropped 30 feet, which put him at 95, so he's still about 65 feet away from you. And you are absolutely going to take an opportunity attack. Which die? I haven't rolled this one yet. That is a 18 to hit. That's your armor
Yep.
class. Your armor class is
Yep.
17, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so just as your wings are spreading and you're flaring them to head skyward, you feel another beak puncture in kind of in your lower back side area, kidney area, and you take 7 points of piercing damage. But you break away from it. The other two Ebli, they had flown up. You're 65 feet away. The other two Ebli are flying to intercept you. They are about 20 feet in front of you, between you and the plummeting form of Eric. These two are in sharp focus. They are not blurred. And that takes us to Vale. Vale, you have chosen poorly.
I was gonna say, probably.
So Vale, as you, I gotta see which one this is.
Wondering what my next character. Might as well start rolling up my next character.
I need a Constitution saving throw. And I'm actually going to say, because you are running through this stuff, that it's going to be at disadvantage because you're kicking this stuff all up into the air.
Sounds good. Now, what if I used a point of inspiration to cancel out that?
You absolutely can do that.
I'm going to use a point of inspiration to cancel out that. Which is good. See, I tell you, you know what? Points of inspiration, save them. When you get them, save them. Just bank them because you're going to need them.
Because I allow them to stack. And while you're rolling that, I'm just going to say, because I have done a very poor job of watching chat tonight because I've been looking at a map. But I did want to acknowledge Fizz Cannon in the chat who says, this is the first time watching something like this. Pretty cool. Thanks, Fizz Cannon, for stopping by.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Glad you're enjoying what you're seeing. We're glad to have you. How'd that con check work out for you there?
Oh, right. It's a 12.
You, as you're running through, are you doing a double dash across this garden, or are you just running normal? It's not difficult terrain.
No, I'm gonna say I'm running. Kind of want to say I'm running normally.
If you run normally, you'll get a little more than halfway. If you sprint, you'll be able to make it to the wall that borders the garden and the area where Eric is falling.
Okay. Well, then you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna double dash.
Okay. So, as you are sprinting through, you kind of stutter step a little bit, and you realize that you've blinked just a little bit longer than normal. And everything, for a moment, you have this sense of separation from the sounds around you. And I would like a dexterity check as you reach the wall.
Sure. One really quick thing, though. Actually, let me just double check.
No, actually, you know what? Oh, no. Sorry. You're immune to diseases, right?
I'm immune to diseases, yes, but at first I thought I had advantage on save versus poison, but I do not. That is an old thing which I need to get rid of off my character sheet, because that were those really cool berries that...
yes, the berries.
Yeah. Those berries. Oh, that delicious Faerunian Frankenberry. But yeah, anyway, dexterity check or saving throw?
Just a dexterity check.
Cool. All right, and that is a 13.
So you're kind of stumble running, and you do manage to prevent yourself from just flat out face planting against this wall.
Oh, thank goodness.
But you kind of hit it hard, not hard enough to take damage, but you do, rather than kind of doing your previous parkour up one of these walls, you sort of just slam into it. You do find yourself where you face plant into the wall almost, about 10, 12 inches in front of your face, you see more old Omuan words scratched into this wall. And would you begin climbing the wall immediately?
If I had the ability to, then yes.
Yeah, so that was part of this overall movement, is that you would have been able to scramble up this wall.
Okay.
Because you slammed right in front of these words, you do see, as you're climbing up the wall, the words, "For the lies of a few, all must pay." And you just make it to the top of the wall as Eric now plummets 60 feet.
Now, question on that one.
Okay.
Is he within 30 feet of me in the air and falling?
At the end of your turn, he is 95 feet above you.
Okay, then I'm going to stand there.
Not straight above you, actually. He's 95 feet up and about 15 or 20 feet northeast of you.
Okay, then I'm going to.
So let me.
wait.
I know this is a complex map, so I want to make sure to refer back to it. I just want you to know where you are. So you are.
What happens when you introduce verticality by letting a player play a blind race? Yeah.
Did you say I'm at the plus sign of the plus 20 feet?
No, you're at the corner of that wall to the right of 20 feet.
Okay.
So just below where that face is in the water.
Yep.
And Eric looks like he's going to just catch the lower left corner of this stone platform in the middle. So there's still about a good 15 feet diagonal away from you, in addition to the 95 feet of height. That's at the beginning of, or at the end of your turn, the beginning of his.
Okay.
So
then I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stand there. I'm gonna wait, and if I have to wait my next turn, then I will. But I'm gonna wait until he's at eye level to me.
Okay. So right now, he plummets another 60 feet, which puts him 35 feet above the stone stairs, and still about 15 feet diagonally from you. So he's not eye level yet. You do know that based on his rate of acceleration, that he is seconds away from crashing into this. So let's see.
Yeah, he's about to achieve the 1.21 gigawatts needed to travel back in time.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Damn you, Hill Valley.
So that is
because my thing is, I'm gonna cast a spell and I'm gonna save his birdie backside.
All right. That takes us to Berlinia. You are flying toward, as he's you've kind of had flown like 30 feet up and at an angle, and Eric has now plummeted to where he's kind of level with you. But he's also about 60 feet away from you, and your way is blocked by two of these Ibli that are flying.
Berlinia is going to...
Well, you're in three-dimensional space, and there's two birds, so you're not like completely blocked.
Yeah. So could Berlinia make it to Eric?
You can certainly try.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go back to the overlay. Left it on the map. Okay.
She is going to try and keep him in eyesight, and she's going to scream his name, but it sounds like horns and like this really weird language of Celestial, and she outstretches her hand. And Eric, I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
11.
Eric, you disappear. I cast banishment on you.
All right. What does banishment look like from my perspective?
Not only that, what?
I don't think I've ever seen banishment used in this way.
You're cast to a harmless demiplane where you're incapacitated there for 1 minute.
So, Berlinia and Vale, you just see and hear as he's just gone. Well, shoot. So let me check something real quick, because even though you banished him to another plane, he's still moving with velocity.
If it's a harmless demiplane, is it like a crazy room where it's all like mattress walls?
Oh, it's a harmless
Gosh, I hope so.
demiplane. Just
I'm
it's
just
like
gonna bounce around this-
clouds. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's basically
Giant power
you're not putting him into the you're not putting him into like the elemental plane of fire or something like that.
like-
roast turkey for Thanksgiving.
Demiplanes are small extra-dimensional spaces with their own unique rules. They are pieces of reality that don't seem to fit anywhere else. Demiplanes come into being by a variety of means. Some are created by spells, such as demiplane, or generated at the desire of a powerful deity or other force. They may exist naturally as a fold of existing reality that has been pinched off from the rest of the multiverse, or as a baby universe growing in power. A given demiplane can be entered through a single point where it touches another plane. Theoretically, a plane shift spell can also carry travelers to a demiplane, but the proper frequency required for the tuning fork is extremely hard to acquire. The gate spell is more reliable, assuming the caster knows of the demiplane. So here's what I'm going to do. Because you don't know exactly what demiplane you sent him to, I'm going to do one of my now infamous percentile rolls. And I'm going to make Berlinia...
Or you could retcon this and let me do my thing. I'm just going to say, or you can retcon this and let me do my thing.
Well, Berlinia took that away from you when she took him away. So, you definitely have velocity, Eric, who has just apparently left.
No, it's cool. He's got Bluetooth.
So I'm going to say...
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm going to say that there is a 10% chance that the plane that he landed in, or that he has been banished to, has a firmament below him. Otherwise, meaning there's a 10% chance that he's going to crash into something hard. So the odds are actually very much in your favor. So the way I do my percentile rolls is I roll my percentile dice, setting the target number, and because it's 10%, if you roll within 5, either way of this number, the thing happens. And just as an extra thing, though I know you guys trust me, I'm going to privately message that number, that target number, to Mike. Berlinia, go ahead and roll your dice and tell me what you got.
12.
Eric. You suddenly no longer are plummeting towards the jungle garden around you that you were barely aware of. You find yourself suddenly surrounded by blue sky and the absolutely most fluffy white clouds you have ever seen. But they appear to be hundreds of feet below you or 10,000 feet below you. You can't tell. And you really don't care. You're just sort of like just flying through this space. But because of the relative perspective, you have lost any sense of momentum.
Just sitting there, just like.
As for Berlinia and Vale, and he's gone. The two Ebli that we're going to intercept are going to try to intercept you violently, Berlinia, as they come darting towards you. That is a 16 and a 14 as they swoop by for their first attacks. They circle around and come at you for 2 more attacks, 1 each, for a dirty 20 and a 19.
That's both it.
So you are going to take, where's my other D4? You are going to take, as both of them strike you, you take a total of 9 points of piercing damage. As 2 beaks puncture into your sides. Vale, whatever you were going to do seems no longer relevant for the moment, as you do see Berlinia about 30 feet above you, almost directly overhead, suddenly being swarmed by these 2 remaining Ebli. You're muted. You almost made it an entire session.
Damn it. Oh, I know. And I thought I'd actually hit the proper, you know what it must have been? I must have been unmuted, and then I accidentally muted myself because that's how we roll. Because I'm professional.
And before I forget, because I always forget to do this, and this time I didn't have to have the chat tell me, but Megan, take a point of inspiration for that use of banishment. Just based on the reaction that everybody had, that was a very creative use of that. So, all right, Vale, what are you gonna do?
I get ready, and I was I'm gonna like get ready to like misty step through, catch Eric, and use the momentum to land in the water. But then all of a sudden, when your muscles are all tense and you're ready to go, and suddenly it stopped. I'll look up and I'll have a look, and looking at these 2 Zibli attacking Brill. I'm instead going to misty step into one of the Zibli that are 30 feet above.
What is a Zibliac?
Or no, where the Zibli are, like the
Ebli?
Ebli.
Oh,
them Zibbles. Yeah,
them Zibbles. I'm gonna call them Zibli because they're jerks.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but I'm gonna misty step into where these 2 bird creatures are, and I'm gonna just attack one. I basically just stab it and then ride it all the way down 30 feet.
Okay, so we might get to do some falling damage after all.
Heck yeah, gravity, what? So
you look around and you misty step straight up into the fray.
Yeah, I'm going to misty step straight up 30 feet, stabbing one of the creatures, and then I'm just going to try and like basically keep stabbing it and then just like use gravity to help destroy it.
All right, so misty step is a bonus action, I believe.
It is.
So you absolutely do that, seeing clearly where you're trying to go. And you kind of just reappear with your rapier flaring out at this thing. So go ahead and make an attack. It is not at disadvantage because they are not blurred.
All right, so that is a 21 to hit.
That hits.
All right, and I'm going to stab it square in the chest, and I am basically now. This is where. And by the way, that's for 13 points of damage. I am going to basically hold on to it, and I'm just going to use gravity to help, like, basically, like, I will drop with this bird creature.
So what was the damage on that?
13 points of
Okay.
piercing damage.
So you're gonna ride it down.
Yep.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to have you, at your will, at your discretion, make an athletics or an acrobatics check as you hit the ground.
All right. I will use acrobatics because I'm better at it. And that's a 14.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, God. I'm going to use a point of inspiration. I thought that was a 7. It's a 1.
Oh.
I'm going to use a point of inspiration. So there you go.
All right, try that again.
Oh, that's better. That's a 22.
Okay. So with your rapier still plunged into this thing's chest, you basically are almost like kneeling on this 8-foot bird. Your weight is preventing it from being able to fly away or disengage from you as it's flapping and making this horrible squawking noise. The next thing you know, there's a jarring impact as you and the Eebly crash into the water. Water sprays up all around you. Your rapier plunges deep into the body of the Eebly from the pure force of it striking and already kind of being impaled in it. You take half of the falling damage, so you only take 5 points of bludgeoning damage from the impact of the water. You are now in the fountain, and you are in a now spreading pool of, or spreading mist or cloud of red blood around you and the body of this now deceased Eebly. So let's see. Your Ithric is still just... Yep. That then takes us to Berlinia. You have one Eebly. For a brief moment, Vale appeared in the air next to you, sans wings.
I like to think I used a free action to just wave and then stab the.
A very Wile E. Coyote moment as there's just this, and then you plunge and plummet. Berlinia, what would you like to do?
Berlinia she is going to, how close is this?
You're engaged with it.
Right. That's not fun. These other words come from her lips in Celestial. And she reaches out and she almost touches this Eebly, and the scars on her arms begin to dance and move like they do, and the light kind of goes through to her hands, and has to make a Constitution saving throw. Word of Radiance.
Is the Constitution of an Eebly? It has plus 20 to Constitution. I'm just kidding. Well, that is a 2 on the die. So a 3.
So it takes 14 points of radiant damage.
How do you end this?
this power flows through her hand into this Eebly as she's touching its chest. And you can see the light almost pass through this Eebly and just burst out the other side in this ray of light. And then it stops and the Eebly just falls. And she's going to move or fly 30 feet to just below where Eric would have fell.
All right.
Or make her way there.
Vale, you see the body of the other Eebly drop into the water next to you. Its feathers singed from radiant energy and a sort of hiss as it hits the water. About 10 feet away from you on that stone area in the middle of the pool, you see Berlinia alight and land right there. It's eerily silent all around the two of you for a moment as the seconds tick by and nothing seems to happen. And then you hear all around you, all around the walls of this pool that has this sort of T shape to it. As we go once more, we'll go to the pool here. So all along the entire perimeter, you hear that as Eebly after Eebly after Eebly lands on the walls. There's easily a couple dozen of these Eebly completely surrounding the pool. They all land and stand stock still. As the last Eebly lands, there is suddenly a in front of you, Vale, and in front of you, Berlinia, between the two of you actually in the water, as the sodden form of Eric suddenly flies upward out of the water about 10 feet before splashing in a flailing mess. As you have no idea how you got here, Eric, but you're suddenly in the water. You take no damage. And you suddenly see that you are all completely surrounded by these bird creatures. Berlinia, you hear, which would be to your left, coming from the east side, the stairs that lead up to the intact dome. You hear a sort of as two large iron doors creak opened by Eebly. And from inside that space, you hear "Very well done. You have proven yourself worthy to stand in my presence." And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. I could see that look on your face, Mike. You saw it coming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw it coming. It's like, no. At first, I thought it was the Eebly. The Eebly standing there, and it's like, and that's where we're going to end it. It's like, oh my God, we're all going to die.
I honestly, I thought that you guys were going to make super quick work of these Eebly.
I thought I was gonna die.
But that's what happens when Dunala's not there hurling fireball after fireball. Yeah. That was very interesting. There were multiple points here where both with the heavy RP at the beginning with Ubtao and throughout this fight where so many different things could have happened, which is exciting. Where especially having, just the choices you guys make. Making the fight vertical is always interesting. And I was 100% expecting either of you to cast Featherfall. I was not expecting you to say that he needed to make a saving throw. And I'm like, what did she do? That is probably the third or fourth time I've ever seen banishment used in the most creative way. I very much would have liked to have seen how Vale's Misty Step would have worked. But he can save that play
for the next time. Yeah,
save that for the next time. Yeah, that hypnotic pattern is no joke. Once you fail, you're screwed until you take damage, or until the spell wears off.
Next time I was taking damage was 12d6 of it. So
yeah, and I'm just curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's just see how far I am into the hamburger process.
Let's see. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 d6 here. That's 10, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41 points.
Oh, yeah. That's a big old KO right there. Not instant death, but...
So, yeah. So that's our Tomb of Annihilation, Chult for personality. A huge shout out to everybody who popped in. We had the raid from Castle Mac, who brought a ton of viewers along. I saw Devin Rue in there, Utilitas, of course, Castle Mac, Grandma Abtab, Granny Carol, Nate, WAST20 Nate popped in. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Nate. Fizz Cannon, who popped in, who we mentioned earlier, who has been very much cheering from the chat section. Whether cheering for you or for me, I'm not sure. That remains to be seen. But thank you to everybody who popped in. I'm going to give everybody here an opportunity to say something on their way out, and then we're going to get out of here. You will see if you want to watch it again, or if you popped in at the end and missed something, the video on demand will be available on YouTube on Tuesday. So in the meantime, consider hitting that follow button, or if you link your Amazon account to Twitch, your Amazon Prime account to Twitch, you get one free subscription per month that you can absolutely use for free to subscribe to Mini Terrain Domain. And of course, a huge shout out to Devin Rue for the donation earlier, 500 bits that purchased a almost immediately used domain die. That was actually to no avail. So with that, let's go around one more time. If you have any final thoughts or want to tell us where we can find you, let's start with Connor this time.
Hi, my name's Connor. I am half a dice on ice, and I will say that I'm really falling in love with this character. Okay, that's all I got.
Take 5 points of pun damage.
That's a -5 inspiration. All right, got it. Yeah, that was fun. I was very worried about how ground turkey I was going to be.
All right, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am the other half of Dice on Ice, and yeah, it's always fun. I didn't even look at the time while the whole thing was going on. My eyes, I was just leaning in closer and closer to the screen, like with Eric. So that's I think how you tell when it's a really, really intense session. So yeah, awesome.
And finally, Mike, the voice of Oogtao.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us today. You can find me here tomorrow for All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. I'm going to be running it tomorrow for Jake over here. Hey, I did it right. I always get confused. I got to point away from where I want to point to. And of course with Megan, and with V, the Crafting Muse, and Dwight, the big bearded nerd. and join us as I run these players through the beautiful city of splendors and all the scary and beautiful things that go along with it. So yeah, definitely come back here tomorrow if you wanna, and definitely check us out.
Yes, thanks for that plug. Yes, Mike is running that game on the channel. I'm producing and hosting it, and I'm a player playing 6 Days into Summer, the Tabaxi Bard. And I've got to say, I absolutely love this character. And I'm loving that campaign. I am, of course, MTD Jake, as it says across the top here, and it says right down here. You can find me on Twitter at MTD_Jake, or right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/mini-terrain domain, or head on over to youtube.com/mini-terrain domain, where we are at just a hair under 8,600 subscribers, making that push to 10,000. When I reach 9,000 and just a hair over 400 subscribers, I will make an announcement about what the 10,000 subscriber giveaway is. So you're going to want to make sure that you're following me on Twitter and these other locations to stay in the know on when that giveaway is going to drop. In the meantime, check us out here on Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for Chult of Personality. Monday nights, 8:30 Eastern for All That Glitters, the Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. And on Thursday nights for the Sunless Citadel mini campaign that is going to turn into a Forge of Fury mini campaign. Excuse me. Yeah, Thursday nights, 8:30 Eastern here. And of course, 2 days after each of these games, the videos are available on YouTube. With that said, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to these amazing players for being amazing. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to end the stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it along with me if you want. Murder.